What's going on, guys? This is Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ, back again for another great episode. Today we got Josh Reynolds and expectations for him. What is planned for Josh Reynolds come fantasy, come week one? Where do we take him in the draft? Do we take him at all? These are all things that we need answered, people, and you are in the right spot to get that answered. Josh Reynolds, 2020 fantasy football season. Let's get right into the episode. So we got Josh Reynolds for the LA Rams. Boom, boom, boom. For obvious reasons, I do have big plans for him. I want him to win. There's big opportunity on the table for Josh Reynolds, being that Brandin Cooks was traded to Houston, so he steps up to be the guy to fill in the shoes. Now, will he have the same production as a Brandin Cooks? No. So let's pump the brakes right there, right now. So Josh Reynolds, he's shown us in 2018 some type of, flash of experience where he was a very polished wide receiver, even going into the draft. But that's really where he caught a lot of people's eyes. Now, 4 out of 6 of those games when he played 95% or more, he put up some good numbers, 19 or more points at fantasy for PPR format. So it's like he put up some very fantasy relevant numbers to where we could be like, damn, this kid can ball out when he's given opportunity. Now, in 2019, he had some type of hiccup where he wasn't performing as he was in 2018, where he was able to put up some of the great numbers. So I do think that Josh Reynolds needs some type of consistency in what he does. It's not that he was bad. It just he wasn't very productive, on most of the plays where he was actually in the game. So 2018, I say, mirrors what we want to see to this next season, but I don't think it will happen, being that you have to remember that we have Kupp there, you still have Woods there. So he's probably going to be the third option, but then you also have Higbee and Everett, mix it into being the options as well in the offense. So it's not really clear where Josh Reynolds fits in that target option, because obviously you got Kupp there, which is Goff's favorite wide receiver, and then you have Woods, who's very productive, that you cannot just cut his snap opportunity down, or Goff not giving him looks, for the simple fact of how talented Robert Woods is. He's a great route running. He has great hands, so he has the speed as well, so you can't ignore him. So it's just not clear yet where we see Josh Reynolds fitting in this offense to be a liable week-to-week fantasy football, player on our team. So I wouldn't feel comfortable drafting him, anything higher than the 10th round, or he's like a much later round flyer where we just don't know yet. We need to wait and see. He's one of the guys I'll have him on my watch list. He may go undrafted, people, because you never know what they do draft day. Rams surprise me every year what they do draft day. So it's like they probably bring in a big wide receiver with, the second round pick they got. I don't know. They like to do that a lot. They like to play musical chairs. They like to, when they have talent on the bench, they like to go out and grab another guy. Like it's just happened. It's something the Rams do every single year. So with that being said, the expectations for Josh Reynolds has to be, knowing that you're grabbing him in the later rounds, knowing that he's going to be on your bench. He could be a very good guy to be on your bench who's serviceable when one of your guys go down, or if they're on bye week. So I'll take that chance to throw him in the flex. Like, hey, why not? If things are going good with that Rams offense and he's starting to get the looks. I'm hoping that he can mirror his 2018 season when he was given an opportunity to be the guy, to be the next option, when Cooks went down with concussions or whatever the case may be, Robert Woods with his shoulder, and Cooper Kupp tearing his ACL, of course. So it's like when he was actually there on the field, he was able to be serviceable, but we want that 2018 Josh Reynolds, not 2019 Josh Reynolds. His stats weren't terrible. It's just that they weren't as good as his 2018, where he caught everybody's eye. Where it's like, holy shit, Josh Reynolds, who's this guy? He's finding the end zone. He's a big body wide receiver. He's going up over corners, and it's just like you have to wait and see. So expectations for him, I probably will not draft him, being that I just have that question of, I don't know if he can be consistent week to week, or if he could be the next man up, because I don't like to leave people on my bench that are just dead players that have no type of value, who will never step up to the plate, when one of my guys go down. That's just not how I draft, how I orchestrate my team. So I really think that he will be serviceable some weeks. Just I think he benefits more in real life than in fantasy, if you know what I mean. So with him possibly being the third, fourth option, I'm not saying there's not enough targets to go around, people, because first of all, Goff was leading the league in most pass attempts, so the targets are there, people. And he had third in the league for most passing yards. So they're going to throw the ball a lot. Obviously, with Todd Gurley out of the question, so they will be throwing the ball a lot more, people. So there's plenty to go around. It's just like you have to think, like, if he's going to see 8 to 10 targets a game, if he's going to see, 4 to 5 to 6 targets a game, it just, you don't know there. You really don't know. And it's like, there's just too many mouths there to feed to where I feel like that, like I said, he benefits more in real life than fantasy, for the simple fact that we just don't have the full look, the full visual, what he could do for a full season as being a active starter wide receiver for the Rams. So Reynolds is definitely a very attractive late round flyer. There's very low risk but high reward if he ends up showing up, balling out as a starting wide receiver week to week. But I don't see that happening over Woods. I don't see that happening over Kupp. He won't be crawling up in my draft boards at all, being that, Brandin Cooks is in Houston. That's good and all, but it's just a matter of you have to understand how you're going to approach him come these late rounds. Is he going to be a guy that you grab in the 10th, 11th round? I wouldn't say you go reaching any higher than that for Josh Reynolds. So I hopefully and pray that he shows up and balls out for my Rams, because we need to get some wins. We need to take back that division. So hopefully Josh Reynolds brings some type of real life relevancy other than, fantasy football relevancy. More so, I want the Rams to win games, people. That's all I'm about. So that's all I got for you today for Josh Reynolds. And hopefully you guys like the episode. Leave a comment below on what you guys think. And I'll see you guys next week for another great episode of Real Deal Fantasy HQ with your boy LQ. Peace.